Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be doing a knife review double feature. I got both of these knives from the same place and they're of the same brand and they share similar model numbers. So two different knives though, obviously. But I thought I would just kind of knock it out and do one review and review them both at the same time. So not sure how that's going to go, but bear with me. These were sent to me by the website gearbest.com. GearBest is kind of like Deal Extreme, if you're familiar with that. I know Cutlery Lover did a lot of videos back in the day ordering stuff from Gear Extreme, or Deal Extreme, I mean. And GearBest is kind of along the same lines. They carry a lot of these knives. These two knives are made by Ganzo, or Ganzo, however you wish to pronounce it. I pronounce it Ganzo. If you guys are familiar, I don't know if they're really that popular now, but years ago the Sanrenmu knives were really big because it was a cheap Chinese company. And they put out some really cheap knives, but they were basically exact copies of other knives. And I use air quotes, but a lot of cases it was a blatant counterfeit of, another type of knife. But they made them very, very well. It was really surprising people. They could go out and spend, $7, $10 on a Sebenza clone, and it was a fantastic knife. It was worth, it was every bit as good as a knife that was about $50 or $60 in some cases. It was hit or miss because they're cheap knives. But these Ganzo knives are kind of a company that's it's the same company as Sanrenmu. I forgot the main company's name, but they made Sanrenmu, Ganzo, BEE knives, and there was a couple of other lines that were around at the time of Sanrenmu. And they all kind of put out knives that were designed like other popular knives, but they also had some of their own designs as well. A lot of times what they would do is they would take a popular knife design from another company and change it. For example, this one up here, it looks just like a Benchmade Griptilian. They have another one though that looks just like this, has the Griptilian frame or handle and axis lock, but the blade is a paramilitary 2-shape blade. So just simple things like that. It'll either look exactly like it or it'll look like a combination, like a fusion between a couple different blades. Anyway, I've rambled on too long. That's basically the gist. If you guys are kind of new to the knife scene, that was really big a few years ago, and Ganzo is still out and doing stuff. But like I said, these were sent to me by GearBest. GearBest sells a lot of knives like this, a lot of the Sanrenmu Ganzo knives, and a lot of just really cheap but cool gear. Cheap doesn't always mean bad. It's just you got to kind of discern for yourself. But anyway, this model right here, this is the Ganzo G7392-CF, CF for the carbon fiber scales. And this one here on the bottom is the Ganzo G7372-WD1. WD stands for the wood. They also have another model of this that has G10 inserts or inlays, which I would really like. This one I have my own issues with, which I'll get into at that portion of the review. I'll go ahead and review this one. This one I have the most experience with because I have been EDCing it. Like I said, this is the G7372-WD1. Very similar to a Spyderco knife. It kind of reminds me of, God, what was the old one? The Spyderco Utility or something like that. But very reminiscent to Spyderco. It has a very Spyderco-like shaped blade. Really love the shape. So it just has that very, abrupt upsweep to the tip, and then it has the typical Spyderco kind of nose where it has the little hump and then goes down. But full flat grind, very nice satin finish on the blade. You can see Ganzo laser engraved. On the side it's pretty sterile, but you can see it does have the part number. Well, actually no, because this the G737 is the G7372. So I don't know, maybe the 2 is just for the wood, maybe the dash WD1 doesn't really count. But anyway, that's just the number I got from their website. But I guess the general model number for this is G737, and then 2 is probably for the wood, and maybe 1 is for G10, I don't know. You can see it's 440C stainless steel. A lot of people have issues with 440C, some people don't care, some people like it. I don't mind 440C if it's done right. I've had good experience with Sanrenmu and Ganzo knives in the past that were in 440C. I have not had good luck with 440C from Boker, but whatever. So it's just, you know, some people have their preferences. So, stainless steel frame lock with wood inserts or inlays. It does not specify what type of wood this is. It's a very, I don't know if you can hear that, very cheap, very, very flimsy. It's like balsa wood. But it looks cool. But anyway, yeah, stainless steel frame lock. Some of you may be thinking, you know, well, Sherman, that's a, you know, that's not a frame lock, that's a liner lock because it has, you know, inserts that cover that lock bar up. Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is called a nested. No, wait, nested is for liner locks. But this is considered a frame lock, and I think there's a word for it, but I cannot think of it right now. But basically, it's still a frame lock because the entire frame is not covered up by that scale or that insert. If that insert was completely covering that lock bar, this would be a liner lock. But since there's still a little bit of that lock bar showing, it's a frame lock. So it looks cool. You have chamfered edges all the way around to make it smooth and comfortable to hold. There's the lockup on that, almost going all the way over to the other side of the frame. And it is rock solid, up and down and side to side, completely rock solid. You have some phosphor bronze bushings in there. Non-skeletonized, which contributes to the weight a lot. The weight on this, according to their site, is about 7.4 ounces. And I can believe it. This is a hefty knife. And it's pretty much all in the handle because the blade being full flat ground and very thin, very good for slicing, does not attribute to any of the weight. So, very handle heavy knife. But when you have this knife, it does feel very solid and secure. Big lanyard hole in the back is an open pillar construction, which I really like. You just have these two standoffs. Very nice. Like I said, rock solid lockup. Great ergonomics. It feels great in the hand with all the round, smooth edges. Big handle. It just feels really good. Nice little thumb ramp like a lot of Spydercos have. The jimping is not aggressive or functional at all. Down here by the ricasso, you do have a very nice ricasso. Finger choil. You can choke up on it a little bit. Not too much. You don't want to get too close to that blade. But this will be easy to sharpen because of that ricasso or sharpening choil. But yeah, I like the blade shape. I like the design. I like the satin finish. It looks really good. Oh, by the way, overall length. I forgot to go into the length of this. I'm already failing at this review. The overall length for this is about 8.5 inches, and the blade length is 3 3/4 inches. So it's a pretty good sized knife. You can see in my hand, I don't have huge hands, but I don't have small hands. You know, it's a good size for a knife, I think. Very nice blade shape, very good if you want to do food prep, very good for sweeping, slicing cuts. Just a great slicing blade design. The bolsters right here, very nice looking satin finish as well. It's just a pretty good looking knife. Pocket clip is even the standard Spyderco looking pocket clip. It is designed for tip down, right hand carry only. No other carry options. Which is another reason why I have not been carrying this knife a lot. I have carried it, used it a little bit, but not a whole lot because I do not like tip down knives. And I don't like the wood. The wood is going to get damaged and is going to just, you know, I'm afraid it's going to crack. Because already when the lock bar is engaged, you can see that space that is created now from that insert has cracked. You know, and I did that a little bit. I just kind of barely pushed on it to see if that was going to be flimsy, and it cracked. So, you know, very, very flimsy wood on this. The lock bar does protrude a little bit, so it's easy to disengage, and you do have a little cutout right there, a little beveled edge. Very easy to disengage, very smooth. My only other problem with this, and it's really not an issue with the design, it's just every knife is going to be a little bit different. That's just what you know, with these cheaper knives, the quality control can be good, but, you know, it's basically hit or miss. You're going to have some that are good, some that are bad. You're not going to have all of them. Like when you buy a Spyderco, you know you have about a 1 in 1,000 chance that your knife may have some sort of defect. With these, it could be a 50-50 chance. So this is not a smooth knife at all. You can see. and that's after I have, you know, loosened the pivots, or the pivot. So not smooth at all. I need to take it apart, clean out the bushings, clean out the contact areas, and that may help a little bit. But also the detent is terrible. There's almost no detent at all, which really makes it impossible to flick out. When the detent is bad, you can't flick out your knife. And the reason being is because you rely on that built-up tension, you know, because basically when you're flicking a knife out, you're pushing down this way and out. So you're building up pressure and tension, and then bam, the knife should just rocket out of that detent. But since this has very little detent, it's not smooth and you can't do that. So that's just my gripe with this knife, the one in particular, the one that I got. Like I said, it's not indicative to all the knives in their lineup. But cool knife. I can recommend it. This retails on their site on GearBest for about $17.88, and you can use the coupon code OUT12 off, and you'll get 12% off, I believe. So that's pretty cool. There's a little coupon code there for this knife. But I could recommend this better if it was a different model. I don't like the wood, just like I said, for several reasons. If you're carrying this and you're sweating, you use this with dirty hands, that wood is going to get very, very dirty looking and could start to crack and whatnot. So I can recommend it as long as you're not a stickler about weight. You know, if you're a T&P'er, you would hate this knife. So just want to throw that out there. But I can recommend it. It's a pretty cool knife, especially for the money. Under $20. Sure, give it a shot. Next up, this is the one that I have been EDCing and that I like much more. Just, you know, different reasons. I like the way it looks better and I like the functionality better. But this is the G7392-CF. So you can see it kind of resembles a Benchmade Griptilian in size and design and shape. Very cool. You have the genuine carbon fiber scales. Probably done the way that Spyderco does it with the Sage. It is a thin, so I can tell by looking at it, it's G10 with the carbon fiber laminate over the top. So it's not 100% carbon fiber scales on this, but I don't really mind. I just like the way carbon fiber looks. It doesn't have to be genuine. You know, this is also a sub $20 knife, so I don't care. It just looks really cool. So it's a good looking knife. Like I said, it does resemble the Benchmade Griptilian. Pocket clip is set up for tip up carry, which I prefer, left and right hand, so lefties can rejoice. You do have a big lanyard loop there. Open pillar construction. You have the two standoffs. Jimping here down at the butt of the handle, up here towards the top ramp, just like a Griptilian. All right, so it's very smooth. This is a lot different than the other one. Flicks out with ease, closes with ease, and that is because it uses the axis lock. So they kind of, you know, without Benchmade's permission, have been putting axis locks on these knives. Can I say it's as strong as a Benchmade? I don't know. I haven't tested one side by side. It functions the same as a Benchmade axis lock. So you have the same. I have taken these apart before because I had another Ganzo knife that had it. Same Omega springs inside. It works exactly the same. Very dirty because, like I said, I have been carrying this every day. Lockup, rock solid, up and down, side to side, and it's that smooth. So that I love about an axis lock. Axis locks really never have any blade play. They're super smooth, super strong, and I love it. So functions great. The blade is a nice drop point stone-washed blade, just like the Griptilians. Big choil here, or ricasso. Easy for sharpening. Thumb ramp, a little bit of jimping. It's a little bit more functional than the other Ganzo that I had. A little bit more functional, but still not much. Also, it is a saber grind, or almost full flat. It's just flat ground. It doesn't have any kind of hollow grinding to it. See Ganzo here. Dual thumb studs. There's your model. Again, G739 when it's a G7392. But anyway, also 440C. And I know, like, on their website they're like corrosion proof. Well, no, because you can see here I've been carrying it every day and I've been sweating a little bit, and it does have some rust spots. Hard to see. It's easier to see in person, but like up there at the top, there's a little bit in there in the stone washing. So I could use a little flitz, but nothing horrible. But yeah, also something I wanted to mention. These knives are, whoever sharpens their knives does a fantastic job. The edge is even all the way down. It looks like the same angle on both sides. Same on this knife. It was sharpened very well. Like to the point where when I got these, they were both, very, hair shaving sharp. That didn't need any touching up or anything. So they did a very good job on that. The length on this overall is about 8 1/4 inches long. Blade length is about 3 1/2. I say about because I'm going off of centimeters, and I had to use a conversion. So, but you can see not a huge knife, but also not a small knife. It's a really good, almost pretty much perfect to me in between. Of course, the ergonomics are fantastic if you're used to the Griptilians. This kind of gives you the feel like you have a Ritter Griptilian, because the Ritter ones, I believe it's a Ritter, or is it Ritter Griptilians that have the just the plain flat, usually G10 or carbon fiber scales. But yeah, so it gives you that kind of a custom Griptilian feel, but for under $20. This one retails for $16.97 off of GearBest. And same thing, you can use the same coupon code. Oh no, wait, the coupon code's not valid for this one, I'm sorry. I'm not sure why that is, but that's what they said. So, another very cool knife. It's definitely worth checking out. For under 20 bucks, and you get this kind of quality, I do highly recommend this one. Out of these two knives, I definitely recommend this one much more. This is a much better knife in my opinion. In terms of the weight, it only weighs 4.7 ounces. So I say only, but to me that's nothing. Super smooth, extremely sharp. Like I said, hair shaving, very strong, easy to carry. To me, it's just a winner. Also non-skeletonized, by the way, but you could probably do your own mods. That's another thing about these knives. They're so cheap. Get a couple of them even, and mod a couple of them, however you want. Yeah, this comes in different models. This is just the carbon fiber version, and I like it a lot. Also kind of weird is that it looks like that screw has been sheared off, and I just noticed that actually. Again, like I said, with these cheaper knives, you never know what you're going to get. It's about 50-50. It's a crapshoot. But if you're willing to take the risk, 20 bucks. Shipping's not expensive. You may have to wait a while because it's shipped from China. But, they're worth checking out, guys. If you're really into the design, what they do give you is they give you a really good design. And it also allows you to get a design that's similar to another knife you may like, but that knife may cost hundreds. This, usually, I've never seen a Ganzo or a San Remo knife that was over 25, 30 bucks. So, definitely worth checking out, guys. So, go check out GearBest. I'll put a link in the description to both of these knives and their website. And it's just worth checking out. I recommend both of them, much more so this one, the 7392-CF. Highly recommend that one. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions on these knives, let me know. Drop them in the comments box. And I hope you enjoyed the review more than anything. So many more knife reviews to come. I'm trying to get back up on that knife reviewing horse because I have been absent for a while. But expect more to come, guys. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman614. Peace.